awesome victory. Awesome, no, incredible victory. That's what I always say, right? Incredible victory against Leeds United. And we were hoping for a little bit of a favor from Liverpool, but Liverpool just, I mean, god awful
Sat the bed.
performance. God awful
Sat the
performance.
bed.
Come on, guys. You got a goal in, you had a head start. Urgh. And then we are set to play there. And of course, they will now show up against us when we go over to Anfield. Anyway, but let's talk about this match because this was again like we talked in our pre-match game, right? We were supposed to be favorites this game, as it were, and we played like that. We played as the favorites. We played like the team in control. Although, let us start out by talking about those very shaky opening minutes, right?
The initial minutes were really difficult, to look at, but if you look at it in the context of the 90, it felt that we were still in cruise control. Maybe not so much at the start, but we didn't panic. We didn't really try to force our game into it. Most of the games that we've started, we've tried to go full heavy metal early on, but I think this game with the international break, with the players coming back in, it was a little bit more casual, and I'm fine with that approach. As long as you're scoring and winning, I'm fine with any approach. That really reflected in how we were playing in the first half.
Yeah, and I think this is an interesting way because throughout the start of the season, Arsenal was the team that was starting heavy, starting on the attack, starting. I think at one point we had the record for scoring the most goals in the opening 15 minutes of a game, and over the last few games, it's almost flipped to where teams that are coming up against us are trying to take the game to us in the opening minutes, and it's almost like we are not prepared for it because Leeds almost successfully pulled off what Bournemouth did against us in those opening minutes. And I felt like, of course, we were able to handle it there, but I feel like that's kind of a dangerous situation that we are finding ourselves in repeatedly. So it seems almost like a pattern that teams have recognized that Arsenal are going to be so focused on attacking that if we kind of go at them in the opening minutes, they are probably going to be fumbled. So it just stood out to me as an interesting thing that we probably need to be a little bit more aware of. Ramsdale called into action early doors. I think what three good saves in the first half, and then a very quiet second half, and very unfortunate goal to give away in the end with that deflection off of Zinchenko. But yeah, like once we got our foot in the door, once we got that first goal in, beyond that, I think the game we just completely took control of the game. The second half was just cruise control, like I
Total
said.
domination.
Fabulous performance. And for me, the standout performance today, and for him as well, I think he was super satisfied. Getting his first goal since October, and his first open play goal as well. Gabby Jesus, man, that guy was my man of the match. Maybe Ben White because he was able to play the full 90. But Gabby Jesus, what a game. He was all over the place. He showed exactly why we bought him in the transfer market. In the defense, springing counter attacks, but also up there in the attack, just causing havoc for the defenses and then end up walking away with two goals. I think that pushes him over the 10 goal mark, right? Or he had 9 goals right
Not
now?
yet. Gabby Jesus is at 7 goals right
Oh,
now. He
okay.
needs three more at least, and that will be our fourth player, hopefully. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. Ben White with a fantastic performance today. I thought he just had an insanely good game, being at the right place to finish that second goal. And just being a shithouser in general, he was trying to rile them up, and he did successfully. I think there are some of these aspects that you never notice, and you hate it when they do it to you, but you want some players who do that, and I'm happy Ben White did it. I really also want to talk about Xhaka to be up front as the most furthest midfielder and getting that goal with a nothing ball. There was Odegaard didn't have really anything to aim at, but then he puts in that cross and Xhaka is open for that headed goal.
Yeah, he had
Fantastic.
no right to create that chance, man. That came out of nowhere. Again, the same issues kind of persist though. Is like part of it is just the defensive frailties. I think Holding eventually ended up finding his feet, but that portion of the game still felt really uncertain multiple times. His decision making still wasn't quite at that 100%, and I think that really again, if we had another couple of games to prepare before going to Liverpool, I wouldn't be quite as worried. But traveling to Anfield, and of course, Liverpool have shown that they can be beaten quite handily at Anfield as well. And again, Manchester City showed today that once you get at this Liverpool team, you can really break them down. But it still worries me that that we have this sort of very exploitable position, and I presume I'm hoping he's not going to be match fit by then, but Luis Diaz will be on the bench. I'm
Maybe,
assuming for
yeah.
Liverpool against that game because I think he's supposed to be. He just missed the deadline for the Manchester City game. So again, that will be a little bit tricky, and we'll talk a little bit more about that match when we get there. But yeah, I think Leeds United as well. I think they're playing a very sort of safe game. They're trying to win the matches that they can, and today they really set out to attack initially to see what they could get. And I think part of it was also that they almost gave up in that second half once Arsenal went 2 goals up. Leeds didn't really try to do what they typically would have under Bielsa or March and just run themselves into the ground. They let Arsenal have the ball, which is sensible from a Leeds perspective because for them, the relegation battle is really more about beating the teams around them.
Getting
Uh,
points somehow.
exactly. So that was a sensible approach from them as well. But yeah, any other big kind of
The
standouts
biggest,
for this game?
honestly, the biggest frailties that I saw for us was again the conceding that set piece and that could have converted. We've struggled a little bit recently with set pieces, at least after the World Cup. We were better before the World Cup. Maybe it's just the way we are set up to do it, but I think we are learning, and this time we are lucky. Maybe we might not be as lucky against Liverpool if we are letting an open header in on goal. So that is something to be a little bit worried about, but overall, a very good performance, solid as usual. Holding, yes, I agree. He might seem like the weak link because the team has been on a different stratosphere right now. But I can't really fault him. We can take anyone who can play, anyone who can fill in. Everyone has a role to contribute. And I'm waiting for more Emil Smith Rowe minutes. Now that he's getting some game time, some more game time, I think he's going to be very vital till the end of the season.
Yeah, I agree. We need to see a lot more of that bench help us out as the season goes along. Of course, with fewer games, it's going to be harder to guarantee those minutes unless we are kind of in cruise control for the most part. And yeah, you're right. Holding, I feel like I've been unreasonably harsh on him at times. He's not really played a whole lot, and then now he's kind of just thrust into being our starting right centre back for almost the rest of the campaign for us. So yeah, I hope he really slowly starts to get his head into the game and really because towards the tail end of last season he put up some incredible performances for her, and again we need him to do the exact same thing come the tail end of this season. Much different complexion. I really had high hopes from that Manchester City game. Even a draw would have been great. But let's go. One game at a time. We got 9 more games left. We need to win at least 8 of them to guarantee that league title.
Nine more
So
finals.
yes, 9 more finals. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. As always, please guys like, share, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.